All right, everybody, we have a video coming to us from Comeback Kids, and it's all about the 11.1.7 and what we can expect. I believe this is everything they're going to send with the patch. Everything is set. Nothing else is going to be changed. There has been changes, but we're going to find out what those are right now. Let's get into this.
Okay, patch 11.1.7 is releasing, and if you log in without a plan, you're probably going to miss out on some important stuff. New titles, transmogs, mounts, tab arts, hidden toys, fresh time-walking rewards, and even a little extra player power, all packed into one patch. So in this video, we're breaking down exactly what to do first, and how to unlock every reward as quickly as possible so you can skip all the fluff and walk away with everything that actually matters. Now, really quick before we jump into rewards, a couple baseline changes that are going live immediately, with our first stop being the brand new ability called Recuperate. Every class in the game will get this ability, which is a self-healing spell that you could use outside of combat that restores you over the duration. This is a massive change for classes like rogues, warriors, hunters.
I think this is a cool change. Quite honestly, for open world, you're going to want to have something like this so that you can go ahead and level up any class that doesn't have a healing charge or anything like that, so you can move along faster. This might, if they had this in like classic, that wouldn't be such a bad change, but then that isn't something that we had back then, so they're not going to add anything like that now.
There's warlocks, pretty much anyone who needs an on-demand heal after being out of combat, so absolutely don't forget about putting this on your bars. Secondly, don't forget the brand new rotation helper is active in the game as well, so if you need some help learning a new rotation, you could quickly turn this on in the options menu. Additionally, if you have any disabilities or you're just looking to play the game casually, they additionally added the one-button rotational assistant for your offensive abilities. I was blown away by how many of you were excited for this in the comment section of our last video, and I couldn't be happier for you all to get this built in game because you deserve it. Now,
we also have somebody like that in the community as well, and so they lost a part of their hand, or they've also had a stroke, so they're paralyzed on one side of their body, as strokes usually happen. So it's really neat to see this because I think it'll be something that can help those. Now, they recently made a change where it was a 0.3 GCD, and now it's going to be a 2.5 GCD. So that's encouraging to see. I believe that a lot of people will be able to make this work because it's not going to be hitting your kicks, or it's not going to be hitting anything other than damaging effects. So if you're tanking, you're still going to have to do your major, if your major effects are going to be you having to do that. Your kicks, things like that. So I think it'll be game entry level stuff for people to kind of learn their spec.
Let's get into what this video is all about, which is the rewards. Starting off with the heavy hitter, the biggest reward in this patch is absolutely your Titan Disc Belt from Overcharged Delves. This belt is supposed to be very powerful, even heading into the last season of the War Within. It's strong, customizable, and it works everywhere in the game, so it's 100% worth unlocking it as soon as possible. Now,
at the beginning, when they announced this, it was only supposed to go up to item level 694. And the benefits of having it were not very good. But one of the things now that we're seeing is that they've listened to the community. They've heard the numbers aren't proper. So they've leveled this up. And the final landing spot, I believe, is going to be 701 item level. And it's going to last all the way like Cersei Circlet did till the end of the patch. So if you're encouraged, if you're wondering, should I get this? Well, I believe Blizzard has made it so that it's a necessity. It'll be one less spot that you have to get. If they one thing that they do not do, and they didn't do it for the turbo event for your regular items. They didn't do it for Cersei. So Cersei Circlet got stuck at 658 and didn't get the additional item levels, whereas the rest of the gear did.
To unlock it quickly, you want to head over to the Delve table in Dornogal and talk to Dagran. He will start you off with your Overcharged Delve questline, which will walk you through a few objectives and get things going from there. He'll ask you to dot some I's, cross some T's, and after a short period of time completing objectives, you will unlock your Titan console, your powerful belt, and the belt trait selector UI. From there, ladies and gentlemen, the grind will officially begin, but in a good way. Inside Overcharged Delve, specific enemies will drop these shards, shards, and every 100 equal 1 talent point you can invest. You take these talent points and invest them in your delve-specific talent tree. Don't forget you're rewarded heavily for actually exploring the entirety of the delve by killing elites off path, looting barrels, opening secret chests. All that fun stuff will feed into the shard count. The more
I want to make sure that I start getting on my brand level up. I'm only at 51, so today being a Saturday where I'm not usually streaming, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this time where I would usually play offline and start doing some delves to level up my brand. And I have an absorbent amount of bountiful keys. You can only do 8 in a week if you haven't been doing your delves, but you can always do the non-bountiful delves so that you could still get XP for brand. I believe his max is 80, so I got a long way to go.
shards you get, the more talent points you get, and of course that increases your power inside of these delves. Do remember the talent tree upgrades only work inside of overcharged delves, and there is no weekly cap to them, so everybody rejoice. I don't have to hear anyone in the comment section complain about time gating, because if you want to grind all this out in one weekend, go crazy. Also, if you do max out the entire talent tree, you unlock the brand new Titan-themed mech mount for doing so as a reward.
That looks cool.
Back to the belt now, though. This particular piece is not just for delves. It's a real piece of gear with high item level and juicy slot-in powers that you can obtain to increase your potential. This includes haste procs, mastery bonuses, crit bonuses, absorb shields, the whole 9. All of this works globally, whether you're raiding, doing Mythic Plus, whatever the case may be. What's better is that these powers unlock account-wide, and you can unlock these powers by simply completing each overcharged delve one time. You do the content once, unlock it across your entire account, and that's it, you're good to go. Now, Dagran will also give you a weekly quest that rewards you with item level boost to your belt, up to item level 701, which is very powerful. One last thing to mention is each tier 11 overcharged delve that you complete will now give you 10 gilded crest instead of 7, and the weekly treasure map bounty will now give you 30 gilded crest instead of 20 at the end, meaning you can get up to 40 gildeds in about 15-20 minutes, so definitely get on top of that.
And as you know, they always, at the beginning of every patch, you know, they're going to limit you anyways, but this is talking about 11.1.7, so we don't have to worry about the caps have been removed. So now you could overcap even on your alts that you're bringing up and not have to worry about spending them on things that you don't really want. So say, for instance, you want to start making your crafted gear. Now, remember that these 11.1.2 is going to be the last patch before the expansion. So, I mean, this is pretty much going to be it. There's not supposed to be 11.4. And we'll see what we could do and how we could give some feedback. Did this go well? Did this not go well? I'd like to see them get rid of Valor Stones so that you're not really held back from trying to upgrade, because this is enough. Grabbing these crests are enough. You don't really need Valor Stones to cap you even more to try and make you go do content you really don't want to do.
Next up now, this is a big one if you're a collector or transmog hunter. We have the Turbulent Timeways event, and that starts day 1 of the patch. And the very first week is an important one, being the Battle for Azeroth time walking, which has never been done before. Yes, you heard that correctly. Brand new transmog and rewards we've never seen are going to be available this first week, so you're going to want to listen up. If you've ever done Turbulent Timeways before, you know each week rotates through a different expansion like you see on screen here. Week 1 is Battle for Azeroth. There's also a weekly quest in Dornogal that rewards heroic level loot, which is great for endgame players for power, but the real reason to prioritize this is the limited time vendor. You can find them in the harbors of Borealis or in the Horde capital, and they're loaded with rewards, brand new mounts, BFA-themed trench coats, new weapons, accessories, and more, all with unique effects and visuals. And if that wasn't enough, mastering the timeways over the course of the event also unlocks the Chrono Corsair mount, which is a new skywriting mount that looks fantastic. Of course, all of this costs time warp badges, so if you don't have a stash of these saved up, you're going to want to start farming this as soon as possible. You've only got a short window to grab all this for the BFA vendor before it rotates out, and once it's gone, it's probably going to be a while before it comes back. So if I were you, I'd grab your belt from Overcharged Delves first, then knock out your 4 dungeon weekly for the time walking event to earn a nice chunk of badges.
And I believe one of the things that you're going to have to do as well is you're going to have to do 5 weeks of these, or else you're not going to have you're not going to have the buff that you get from doing these stacked up enough so you can use the vendor, if I understand correctly. If you've been playing this game for quite a while, then you might have done these time walking events, so you should have a lot of these currency that you need. Just check out your currency tab and look for your time walking currency, and then try and gauge yourself from there. But everybody should have a bunch, unless you're new to the game.
Last thing to note is that these Time War badges are warbound until equipped, so you could just transfer them across your entire account to stack them up and purchase all this at the vendor. So collectors, mall hunters, mount grinders, this is your moment. Get on this early so you don't fall behind. Next up, we have the Arathi campaign. This is a short story-driven questline with faction-specific rewards, and it's one of the fastest pieces of content you can clear this week. Seeing as it's going to be here the entire time, though, the rewards aren't tied to power as well. You could hold off on this for a bit if you want to. As you complete the story for this, you can earn different rewards for being both Horde or Alliance, with the Alliance players earning a title and a brand new Stromgarde tabard, which in my opinion looks phenomenal. Then of course you have the Horde players getting a title along with the matching Hammerfall tabard. I will say I think the Alliance tabard here is a lot better, so you guys are gonna have to let me know.
That's because he's biased and he's probably an Alliance player, but as I like to say, for the Horde! That's what I'm talking about.
What you think about it in the comment section below. Also, no matter what faction you play, everyone will unlock the Lamplighter Pauldrons, which are inspired by Faerun herself, one of the new characters Blizzard's trying to make a push for in terms of story. All of this is super quick and clean. You can get this done in probably a little over an hour for both factions, so after you get your other priorities done, get on this. Now, moving on to next, sadly, the least priority when it comes to rewards, we have the lore walking. If you're into story, roleplay, or just love collecting toys, this is a really great bit of content for you. These are quick story mode, bite-sized sections that are super fun to dive into. First up, you got the Echo of Xalatath, which is a toy that lets her voice whisper in your ear when you kill enemies. If you played through her storylines before, it's like being a Shadow Priest back in Legion, which is really cool. Then there's the Koresh Memory Crystal, which transforms you into a Koreshi, which is a super rare visual and perfect for us heading into most likely the ethereal base pack.
I like this. I mean, maybe these will be one of the races that we get for the new expansion or something. I don't know. See if we get what do they call those? Allied races? I have pretty much all of them except for the Earthen, but I don't really play a lot of them. I say that, but yet I got Big Papa D, who is a Kultaran. Okay, I'm lying. I'm lying a little bit.
Patch next season. And finally, the big one, the Royal Visage, which lets you take on the form of Arthas Menethil. Yes, you can now strap on the Lich King's armor and walk around as one of the coolest characters in all of MMOs. So yes, this is lower on the priority list as these are toys, but these are still really awesome to have. I'm hoping in the nearby future we can get maybe one piece of transmog dedicated to each story so we can have it on our character permanently, but seeing as this is the first iteration, we will take what we can get. Also, it was data mined in the files that there will be more Lorewalker stories coming soon, with the next one most likely being an unreleased questline tied to Quel'Thalas. This is probably just going to tell the whole history of that and the importance of the Sunwell, seeing as we're going to be diving into that in the next expansion of
Correct. I believe Midnight is going to be all about us uniting the elves in one spot, and I think that's going to be in Silvermoon. So that might be the new headquarters and base of operations, kind of like Dornogal is for us to be out of for that expansion.
Midnight, which is awesome. And lastly, when it comes to rewards, we have the Greedy Emissary event, which is starting on July 1st, a couple weeks after the patch goes live, so this isn't going to be a priority for a while. The idea is that you start the quest line in your respective capital city and look out for when the event is going to start on your map timer. You go to the portals outside of Stormwind, Orgrimmar, or Dornogal and kill these treasure goblins that occasionally spawn from these portals. Each goblin will drop a chest, and your first 10 goblins you kill per character are guaranteed to drop these shards. You spend these shards at the vendor in Dornogal for these recolored tier 2 sets, and not only that, there are rare drops that can be earned from these chests and these goblins, such as Tyrael's Charger, the 2023 cosmetics, and a ton of other stuff. When this releases, I highly recommend killing 1 goblin a day on as many characters as possible because it gives you a very large drop chance boost for the rare loot on the very first kill for each character, so it's very important. The elixirs that drop from these goblins, you could also use them at the portals to stack the affixes to spawn more goblins, which will then give you more loot. Once again, this event is all about cosmetics, 0 grind in terms of power, and if you're smart about this, you'll only need to do this event a couple times to get the sets that you're interested in. Okay, now a quick priority to-do list with everything I'm going to do in exact order, so if you want to take a screenshot, save the video, you can do that to always have this to come back to. First up, top priority is unlocking the Titan Disc Belt from the Overcharged Delves quest you get in Dornogal from Dagran. This gives you a nice power boost with customizable effects that work in...
Now, as Cersei Circlet, you will only be able to level it up once per week, so this is going to be a little bit of a time gate, so you'll have to keep coming back to do this every week. Keep that in mind, so you don't get that 701 right off the bat. I believe the base is 691.
In all forms of content. If you want, you could also run each Overcharged Delve once to unlock all the belt powers, and while you're doing that, you could also use your treasure map in the tier 11 delve to earn up to 40 gildeds in one tier 11 run, which is massive. Immediately after earning your belt, complete your 4 Battle for Azeroth time walking dungeons to earn some time warped badges and spend these badges at the BFA vendors in the Battle for Azeroth, Horde, and Alliance capitals. This contains very limited time trench coats, transmogs, mounts, weapons, and all that fun stuff, which will rotate out most likely next week, so don't forget about this and get to it quick. Also, don't forget you have the badges that are Warbound transferable, so you can just transfer them across your account and you should be good to go. After this, you can complete the Arathi campaign for the faction titles, as well as the Tabards, and Faerun's inspired shoulder transmog. Lastly, you have the 3 lore walking toys, which is the Arthas form, the Xalatath Whispers, and the Koresh transformation. And then in a couple weeks, you also have the Greedy Emissary event, which will allow you to earn your tier 2 sets from killing goblins for Hellstone shards. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that you can put the brand new Recuperate ability on your bar, and you can try out the brand new Rotation Helper as well if needed. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is everything you need to know about earning the raw rewards in this brand new patch. If this helped out, please drop a like, hit subscribe if you're new, because the comeback kids are going to be sticking around here for a while. Let me know what rewards you're most excited for. Good luck out there, and I'll see you in the next one. One last...
Good kids, good video. I will link it down in the description. And I tell you what, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's definitely something that I want to get into. Definitely, as always, being power driven to be the best that I can be. I want to make sure that I get that belt and I level that shit up. Then I'm going to go for those mounts, because who doesn't want to ride on a dragon who is our captain, right? That, and then of course I want to do my lore walking, because I want to try and make sure that I'm leveling up. One thing that I did not hear him talk about was we're going to be getting a buff, and that buff is going to be increasing your experience bonus. So that would be the time to start doing all of the time walking as best you can and level these up that usually take 3 hours if you're at level 70 to 80, because I know you're all alcoholics out there. So this will take even less time than that. So if you believe that this is some content that you want to do, let your friends know. If they haven't come back to the game and they're like, that game is so dead, or it's not for me, I think it's time. I think it's time for them to come back. I really do. So let's go ahead and tell our friends all about it. Let's get ready for the final season of a beautiful expansion to me thus far. If you've stuck around this long, please type Tabards in the comments. I enjoy all of your comments as well as discussions, and as always, take care of yourselves. I stream every Monday through Friday on Kick, and now on Twitch, and now on Kick every Monday through Friday doing World of Warcraft, usually around 6 p.m. Central. And then on Saturday we do karaoke, start time 10 p.m. Central, because it's a party up in here. And until next time, everybody, keep calm, keep your head on a swivel, and be good to one another. Remember, without you, there'd be no me. All right? So take care of yourselves.